The news surrounding Jenelle Evans, a former star of the hit reality television series Teen Mom 2, has frequently drawn attention due to the public nature of her life and her controversies. One of the most notable incidents that grabbed the headlines was the restraining order filed against her. To understand why a restraining order was filed against Jenelle Evans, we need to dive into her history, her relationships, and the broader context that led to this legal action. This article will explore Jenelle Evans' past, her family dynamics, her relationship history, the reasons behind the restraining order, and the impact this situation has had on her life, career, and reputation. Jenelle Evans. A brief introduction. Jenelle Evans became a household name after starring in 16 and Pregnant and later Teen Mom 2. She was one of the most controversial and talked about stars of the series due to her tumultuous relationships, legal issues, and complicated family life. Jenelle's time on reality television offered a very public view of her struggles, which often centered around issues like addiction, tumultuous relationships, parenting challenges, and confrontations with family members. Born on December 19, 1991, in Oak Island, North Carolina, Jenelle Evans was introduced to viewers as a teenager dealing with the complexities of motherhood. She gave birth to her first son, Jace, at 16 years old. While 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom 2 provided a platform for her to share her experiences, it also thrust her personal life into the public eye, where her difficulties were laid bare for the world to see. Over the years, Jenelle's relationships with family members, particularly her mother, Barbara Evans, and her various partners, have been a constant source of drama and public attention. One of the most significant aspects of her life has been her tumultuous relationship with her now husband, David Eason, which has caused a great deal of controversy and led to legal actions. The restraining order. What happened? A restraining order is a legal order issued by a court that requires an individual to stay away from another person or to cease certain behaviors. These orders are typically sought in situations where there are concerns about safety, harassment, or threats of violence. In the case of Jenelle Evans, the restraining order was filed by her mother, Barbara Evans, a central figure in Jenelle's life. The relationship between Jenelle and her mother has always been strained, and much of their conflicts have played out in the public eye. Barbara has often taken on the role of Jace's primary caregiver, with Jenelle struggling to maintain a stable and healthy relationship with her son. Over the years, Barbara has expressed frustration with Jenelle's lifestyle choices and her inability to provide the stability Jace needed. However, the filing of the restraining order marked a new and serious level of conflict. In this case, Barbara sought the restraining order against Jenelle due to escalating tensions between them. While the exact nature of the conflict has not always been fully disclosed, there have been several instances in which Jenelle's behavior, especially when it involved her husband, David Eason, led to heightened concerns for Barbara's safety. Barbara has been outspoken in her criticism of David Eason, Jenelle's husband, who himself has been involved in several controversies. Eason, a former Teen Mom cast member, was fired from the show after making homophobic and violent comments on social media. His behavior has also been a point of contention in his relationship with Jenelle, and many of the problems between Jenelle and her mother have stemmed from David's actions. Barbara has often accused David of being abusive toward Jenelle, and she has voiced concern for her daughter's well-being. Jenelle, however, has consistently defended David, further alienating her from her mother. The relationship between the two women became even more strained after Jenelle and David got married, and their behavior led to further conflict with Barbara. The reasons behind the restraining order. The restraining order was filed in response to a culmination of factors that involved both Jenelle and David Eason. While the specific details of the restraining order were not always publicly available, some of the reasons behind it can be inferred from the broader context of Jenelle's life and the conflict between her and Barbara. 1. Violence and threats. One of the most significant reasons for the restraining order was the concerns over violence and threats of harm. Barbara had previously expressed fears for her safety due to Jenelle's relationship with David. Jenelle's husband had a history of making violent statements and behaving aggressively. There were multiple reports of David engaging in violent behavior, including an incident where he allegedly shot and killed the family dog, which led to widespread public backlash. Barbara's concerns about her safety and the safety of her grandchildren were valid, and the restraining order was likely an attempt to protect herself from any further harm or intimidation. 2. Verbal abuse and harassment. Aside from physical violence, verbal abuse and harassment have also been part of the toxic dynamic between Jenelle and her mother. Barbara has publicly stated that Jenelle and David have both verbally attacked her, using aggressive language and making threats. The public nature of their family disputes has made matters worse, with many of their arguments being played out on social media and in the press. This has led to further strain on their relationship and escalated the tension between them. 3. Concern for children's welfare. Barbara has expressed concern over Jenelle's ability to parent, particularly in relation to Jace. As mentioned earlier, Barbara has had primary custody of Jace for much of his life, and Jenelle's inability to provide him with the stability and care he needed was a point of contention. Barbara's filing of the restraining order may have been motivated by her fears for the welfare of not just Jace, but also for Jenelle's other children, who were living in an environment that Barbara deemed unsafe. 4. Public shaming and intimidation. Another potential reason behind the restraining order could be Jenelle's and David's public shaming of Barbara. Over the years, the couple has posted numerous things on social media that have publicly humiliated Barbara. These online outbursts, combined with the general public nature of their conflicts, likely contributed to Barbara's decision to seek legal protection. Being subjected to such public attacks can be emotionally distressing, and a restraining order may have been viewed as a way for Barbara to regain control over her own life and protect herself from further emotional harm. 5. Personal strain and mental health concerns. Throughout Jenelle's life, her struggles with mental health and addiction have been well documented. Her battles with drug use and her erratic behavior have caused many to question her ability to care for her children and maintain stable relationships. Barbara's decision to file the restraining order could have been influenced by her growing fear that Jenelle's personal struggles were putting her family in danger. It is possible that Barbara was trying to protect her own well-being, as well as the safety of her grandchildren, from the negative consequences of Jenelle's behavior. Impact of the restraining order. The restraining order filed by Barbara Evans against her daughter had a significant impact on the lives of everyone involved. For Jenelle, the restraining order was yet another setback in her already tumultuous life. Her relationship with her mother, which had always been fraught with tension, became even more strained, and the legal action only added fuel to the fire. For Barbara, the decision to file the restraining order was likely a difficult one. Despite their troubled relationship, Barbara has always been concerned for Jenelle's well-being. However, the ongoing conflict and her fears for her own safety and the safety of her grandchildren led her to take the drastic step of seeking legal protection. In some ways, this represented the ultimate breakdown of their relationship, as Barbara took legal action against her own daughter to ensure her safety. The situation also affected Jenelle's public image. Her involvement in yet another legal battle, combined with her ongoing issues with David Eason, only reinforced the narrative that Jenelle's life was filled with chaos and dysfunction. Fans of Teen Mom were divided on the situation, with some sympathizing with Jenelle and others criticizing her for her choices. Conclusion: the restraining order filed against Jenelle Evans by her mother, Barbara Evans, was a result of years of strained relationships, concerns over safety, and growing tension between the two women. While the exact reasons behind the legal action may not be entirely clear, it is evident that the complex dynamics of Jenelle's family life, particularly her relationship with David Eason, played a central role. The restraining order marked a new chapter in the ongoing saga of Jenelle Evans' public life, further illustrating the challenges she faced both personally and legally. It also underscored the toll that reality television can take on the lives of those involved, as the public nature of their struggles often amplifies the tension and drama. Whether or not Jenelle and Barbara will ever reconcile remains uncertain, but the restraining order serves as a poignant reminder of the lasting effects that difficult family relationships can have on one's life and mental health.